It is your girl Abby, aka New Age Coach here. I'm lighting the way for those on their way to the light. And yes, you see me wearing a fabulous unicorn hat here. And yes, you just saw me galloping and prancing in all my glory down the street doing my best impression of a unicorn, where my sister hysterically laughs, which does include a snort at the end. So I hope that got you laughing and that it got you in the spirit to talk about, well, spirits, particularly spirit guides and spirit animals. Because right now, I'm gonna give you the disclaimer that you might think I am Coco Kanuku or have just dived completely off the deep end when I tell you that I have realized that unicorns are my spirit animal, and that unicorns are real. No, I definitely heard me say it too. But in all seriousness, I'm simply asking you to just keep an open mind as you watch the rest of this video, where I do discuss why I believe this to be true. And you might not believe in magic or the universe or unicorns, but I know that you can relate to believing in you. And that's really what the important message is for this video, and what I hope that you're gonna walk away with. Okay, before diving in too deep, I just wanted to give you some additional context too. So over the last few years, I have been drawn to all things unicorns, and everyone who knows me always tells me, Abby, you are just a unicorn, you know, you're just magical. And usually when they're saying something like this, they're really talking about, you know, my personality and just my energy and my spirit and nature overall. And it's just become such a running joke between my friends, my families, that for like every Christmas, every birthday, at any occasion it is, it's like just a Monday, and they think it is the funniest thing to get me, you know, just any type of unicorn gag gifts. So I have anything from like unicorn pencils to unicorn candles to pajamas, socks, you name it. If it's got a unicorn on it, Abby has this in her house. And as of these last few weeks, it's really all starting to make sense as to why unicorns have been around me for the last few years plus. And that really, while it is funny and a joke, you know, it's really not a joke anymore, because there's a reason. It's no coincidence that that's happened, and that, you know, I sit here before you today making a video about unicorns and how I believe them to be a part of my spiritual path. Okay, so just check out this little montage I made that shows you just a glimpse of some of all of the unicorn things that I own. Like, again, just a small portion of it. Sadly, there's so much more. But check this out so you know what I mean when I say I'm surrounded by unicorns. Let's get into the video. For some backstory, as I've progressed through my spiritual journey and kind of all of these lessons I've been learning through from my initial spiritual awakening to where I'm at now, I've learned that there are a team of spirit guides, of spirit animals, of archangels, of guardian angels, you know, name it what you may. There is a team of divine energies that are always with us, and they're there to guide us and to support us and to inspire us and to love us and just to help us find our happiness. And I've always believed, you know, that God was with me and that there are angels. That's never wavered. But before my awakening, I didn't actually intuitively know that to be true like I do today as fact. Like I always believed it to be true. But after my awakening today, like that's just in my heart space. I know that as fact. So as my mind's been expanding on this path, you know, and I'm learning that there are so many layers and different types of divine energies, from beings to just essence to angels to souls to aliens to all of this type of stuff, man. Like there's so much out there. To be quite honest, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Especially like more towards the beginning of my awakening, this kind of freaked me out. And that's because of duality, right? I knew when I awoke that, okay, if there's light, there's dark. If there's good, there's bad, right? That's duality, the opposing sides of the spectrum. And I just had this kind of fear, which truthfully I still have in me, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But I had this fear and have this fear around, like, I don't want to be messing with, you know, any unwanted energy, unwanted, you know, negativity or just like dark kind of stuff. And you know, even as a kid, I've never watched scary movies. I change the channel anytime a scary movie trailer comes on, a commercial. Like that's just not my jam, man. I don't mess with that type of stuff. And side note, before I even continue, I don't mean to freak anybody out. There, of course, are ways to protect yourself spiritually from this type of stuff. And the overarching message here is that you have the complete power to allow whatever you want into your own energy and your own space. So yeah, just do some research on how to protect yourself if you need to do that. But again, my point is here overall is that even knowing that I am protected and that I, you know, make certain intentions to only allow the best that's in my highest good, you know, for example, when I'm meditating, or the intentions that I'm putting out there in terms of the energies I'm interacting with. And despite that, I know these angels, these spirit guides, divinity, the divine energies, like they're only here to support and show the utmost adoration and love and bliss that we're ever gonna feel. I still have this block, this mental block that's stopping me from visually being able to connect with the spirit guide, to have them come through. And I'm working on this today, even as I make this video, and I'm just trying to be completely honest. So for example, sometimes when I'm meditating at night, I unequivocally know that there's a presence about to come through visually, or I can feel that around me in my meditation, but I will freak out and like get myself out of the meditation because I have a little bit of fear around that still. Another example is in my quantum healing hypnosis session, which I'll link that video below too. Anything I mention, I will link below. But I just find it interesting that I had kind of that same block in terms of actually visualization and seeing actually, or that interaction with my spirit guide or higher self. Like at first, my practitioner actually had to develop some sort of like communication mechanism through light. So purple light if you're Abby's spirit guide versus green light if you're her higher self, you know, one flicker for no, two for yes, this type of communication system. Because I had this block there, and I'm clearly comfortable with light because in my real life during this spiritual path, you know, I was seeing those same two colors, meaning those same two meanings for spiritual validation through my normal life. Like I'd see green dots everywhere, or a purple light if I was looking for a certain answer or affirmation spiritually. So I don't think it's coincidences that those are the two kind of lights or energies coming through in that session, but not again actually seeing and interacting with an actual spirit guide or getting all of those visuals. So yes, I've realized I've had some sort of kind of a little bit of fear around meeting a spirit guide. I was comfortable with lights, as I've just mentioned, and now as I sit here, unicorns are another way I'm feeling comfortable with, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But I bring some of this fear up to let you know when you go through an awakening, that's one thing you're gonna learn really quickly. It's really to face your fear. Anything you're scared of or scared to bring to the light within you that's in darkness, that fear, again, you're gonna have a mirror right in front of your face that forces you to address that fear. And there are gonna be some things that you're gonna naturally kind of organically look at when you're ready to look at. So one example is, you know, I've realized in my awakening that I'm somewhat sort of scared of the dark, quite honestly. You know, I'm human, and I've realized I don't like being in the dark. And I think that's partially because I'm scared of what I'm gonna see, more specifically around spirits. You know, this fear has happened since I've become awakened. And I don't think that's a coincidence either, but I'll tell you one thing. Since I have realized that that's a fear, what I've been trying to do is, there'll be like 1, 2, 3 nights a week where I will sit up in the wee hours of the night when it's darkness and I'm awake, and I will just do a quick look around the room and force myself to just sit there in the uncomfortableness and just that scaredness, that fear, and just force myself to do a quick look around, probably pull the covers right back over my head is where I'm at now. But my point is, I'm making that effort. And I'll tell you what, since I've made this effort to really confront that fear, I know more than ever now that my spirit guide is also making more of a proactive effort to communicate as well and giving me all those signs I need to show me that I'm doing the right things here. And this is a good point I wanted to bring up too, because your spirit guides, they know you inside and out. They know you better than you know yourself. And I say that because they know what you can handle right now and what you can't. They know what you're going to be receptive to. They know what signs and messages that you can interpret and how to make sure that you can receive them to interpret them. And what I've been learning is that spirit guides can really come in any form that you're comfortable with. They're here to assist you. So if you're scared and you have this kind of fear like I do about meeting spirit guides, seeing spirit guides, and just this whole kind of realm, don't be afraid to ask. They can come, ask them to come in the form of a deceased relative if you feel comfortable with that. Ask them to come in the form of an animal like my unicorn here, or ask them to come in the form of light. I told you I was comfortable with light, so maybe that will work with you too. But the point is, you can ask. They know what you're going to be receptive to, and they'll come in the forms that you're going to understand that they're around you, they're with you. So now I'm going to kind of talk about what prompted me to actually ask and really reach out for my spirit guides and say, like, is that you? Unicorns, am I seeing you? Like, are you part of my spirit guide? Who are you, spirit guide? What's happening? And we're going to get into one text message that set me down that path as recently as last week. So last week I was texting with Ariana, who is a friend, also a fellow YouTuber. Check out her channel, The Realm of Prosperity, and send her so much love. But I was basically telling her that my sister and a friend let me know that they have been activated and they are now starting for real their spiritual path, and they know this. And they let me know that I had a part to play in that activation. And I just thought that was amazing. And even though I have this channel about lighting the way for those on their way to the light, aka activating people like they just let me know I did for them, it still just took me by surprise. Like, whoa, like there is magic here. And this is amazing, right? So even though I know that's what this channel's about and what I'm doing, it was really cool to still get that validation and affirmation for them. And when I told Ariana that, she said this quote right here. She said, "Abby, I don't think you realize the effects that you actually do have on people." And she was basically telling me that it's Abby time, it's my energy. And she said this one thing. She said, "You're a unicorn amongst a sea of horses." And there went the rabbit hole from here. Let's get into it. And that's because for the last couple of weeks, I have been getting so many messages about what my life purpose is, really, again, about it being about my energy, my presence. Again, I have my quantum healing hypnosis video where my higher self told me it is my presence. I have a video called 99 Abs Energy, and that was about, again, me getting this download that yes, it is actually Abs energy, Abby energy, that is your life purpose. So this is kind of this continual message I'm getting as I'm determining what my life purpose is. And yes, people have said this to me, like I mentioned at the start of the video about Abby, you're a unicorn, or you're such a unicorn. And I've heard that, all the time, but it wasn't until Ariana saying it in that text message that everything, literally everything just clicked for me. So the moment I read that, I had that montage like you saw of all of those unicorn things. Like I literally saw that montage in my head, and it was basically like a download from my spirit guides that was saying like, yeah, we've been trying to tell you, like, yeah, your presence is your life purpose. You're supposed to be here. You're magical. You're supposed to light people up just by being around them and making them feel good and making them laugh and just be able to be themselves and to believe in themselves and just believe in their worth. And we've been trying to tell you that. We've been here all along, us unicorns, us spirit guides. Like, we've always been here, but now we know that you're ready to pick up this message. We know you now see us. And without going into too much detail on this story, that night I found a unicorn meditation. Yes, those exist. And I did it that night, and it confirmed for me, for sure, again, I am not cuckoo kanuku, it confirms for me that unicorns are around me. Unicorns are real. I saw the light, and it was the most glorious, beautiful, magnificent rainbow energy light that I just took in. Rainbow light. So the next morning, I am driving into work, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I have gone off the deep end. Like, what? Unicorns? Like, what? Okay, like, unicorns, am I crazy? This is how I felt this next morning, even though I just had this magical experience, right? And I was like, okay, have I gone mad? Let's test this out. Universe, spirit guides, unicorns, whatever. Let's try this game. If I am not mad, if I do not need to go tell somebody that I need some type of prescription or something, like if I am correctly understanding all of this, I need a sign. And then I asked to see a unicorn symbol by the end of that day. And I kid you not, I literally kid you not, moments later, this vehicle pulled right in front of me.
Guys, I asked to see a unicorn today in some way, shape, or form because I'm going through so much stuff right now where I'm having the realization that unicorns are spiritual. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. Literally just made that intention. Please let me see a unicorn something today or a rainbow to confirm what I'm thinking is true. What? Wow.
I'm sure you can hear my excitement in my voice in that video, or just my awe, like, what? Whoa, like it was instantaneous. I asked and that car pulled right in front of me. But additionally, I've also had an epiphany where I've realized over the last few weeks to a month-ish, I have been seeing rainbows galore. And what do we all associate rainbows with? Yep, unicorns. However, rainbow light contains all of the colors of your 7 chakras, your 7 energy centers. So really, rainbows also represent just true essence of balance, and it's also very spiritual too to see rainbows because of that reason. So check out, just I'm gonna go into some clips about some of the different rainbows I've been seeing over the last week, and kind of this epiphany and what I've realized, like, oh wow, like these have been here this whole time, and now I just get why they were. Check out these stories quickly. So this first story about a rainbow is around my most recent float tank experience, where I took my sister, and you can check out that video if you want to. But we went to grab a salad after our session, and we're sitting there, and she's talking, and I literally had to stop her, like, stop talking, because I'm not listening, because I am so distracted by the fact that there is a rainbow in my salad dressing. There was a rainbow in my balsamic glaze. Like, what? And I asked her, I'm like, can you see that rainbow from where you're sitting in my salad dressing? And she literally couldn't see the rainbow that I was talking about. And she tried looking from different angles, and she was like, I don't see what you're talking about. So I had to stop her from talking still, and I took a picture of it, and then she was able to see it in the pictures. A second quick story about a rainbow is when I was in St. Martin, again at the beginning of April, and I had gotten up super early, went down to the beach where there was absolutely no one there, and I meditated. No music, no anything, because my phone or headphones wouldn't work. Technology hated me while I was there, and legit, my phone got taken to the sea. Like, the universe was giving me a very clear message to not be on technology. But my point is, I meditated, and it was glorious, and then all of a sudden, a rainbow came out of nowhere, and it was just for me. There was literally nobody on that beach, and my eyes got to witness that rainbow. A third quick little story about a rainbow is really over the last week, plus just little glimpses on TV shows. I'm seeing rainbows. So I could be watching the news and the person talking has like a rainbow light, or this clip that I'm going to show you, like just rays of rainbows. And I know it's logistically from the way the lights reflect off each other, but that's not my point. I wasn't aware of this if I were to see it like last year compared to how it's catching my attention now that I'm aware of rainbows and what they're actually saying to me. So check it out.
Rainbows. Rainbows everywhere.
A Okay, rainbow story number 4. This one again, reminder, just keep your mind a little bit open. And I know that it's kind of logistically, it's all about lighting and how it reflects. And I'll mention that in the clip you're about to see. But reminder that this is feeling, intuition. You know, again, we talk about third eye or just the spirituality around what I'm talking about. So just keep an open mind. But I'm going to let this little clip speak for itself on what I was seeing or where I was seeing rainbows.
You guys can see that. I asked if I can show this on camera. You guys, I think you can see this on camera. Those are rainbows. They're moving. I thought it was just me seeing this. I know it's the light off my chandelier, but they weren't like that before I asked if they could show themselves so I could get this on camera. I know you guys think I am mad, but my third eye is literally going to explode. This is amazing. Please tell me you can see this. And I haven't gone off the complete deep end. Can you guys see that? Look at that. So many rainbows across the mirror. And I'm not moving my phone, guys, or trying not to. Look at that. Do you guys see the blue dancing? Please tell me you see the blue and the rainbow dancing. It's just my chandelier, which I know obviously there's a reflection of light, but in these circumstances, guys, it's not your normal logic. It's intuition. It's feeling what's happening right now in this space and in this message. And I'm so happy I asked for permission. I am getting tingles like everywhere.
Rainbow story number 5. This will be the last one that wraps it up. And this one, again, you will have to just trust my word for it because I don't have any video clips or proof for this one. But the day that I saw that unicorn bumper sticker from the clip I showed you earlier in the video where I asked if I've gone mad and that bumper sticker showed up for me with a pink unicorn, that night when I pulled into my driveway, the sun caught me at, again, just this right way that it spoke to me, and it was shining right into my car. And I had just this moment where I was like paused in time. I was staring at the sun. I was just looking at it intently, and it was just so beautiful and so radiant. And in this freezing of time and of just this kind of interaction I was having with the sun, it really looks like instead of the normal rays that emanate from the sun, it was like rainbow light beams. Like, again, it's kind of like in that TV clip I showed you of what those rainbows looked like on that video. I think it was number 2 or whatever from this previous clip. But that's what the beams from the sun looked like. They were just rainbow beams coming from the sun. And I was just mesmerized by it. So then I kind of snap out of that and I'm kind of like, whoa, and I'm walking into my house and I go straight to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I looked directly at my eyes. I was just drawn to my 2 eyes in the mirror. And again, I just got paused in time staring at myself in the mirror. And as I looked at my eyes, they had this pearlescent like sheen over them. Like the deeper I looked into my eyes, they had this like pearlescent, shiny, like pearlescent is the word. They were sparkly. They looked exactly like this unicorn that I have in my house. This is how my eyes looked, this color, which I don't think it's ironic that it's a unicorn, but this is the color that my eyes were. Secondly, I don't think it's ironic that they were, you know, this was me seeing through my normal set of eyes. And it was really saying like, yeah, you're not actually seeing through this set of eyes. What you're witnessing now, what you're open to now in terms of intuition and this connection, this guide connection, spirituality, it's not your eyes. So I just think it's funny that it was my physical eyes that had this kind of third eye experience through, where I was actually seeing something differently or perceiving my eyes differently, but they were my actual eyes through my third eye, if that makes sense. So I just think that's a beautiful message, kind of overall, the way that worked. And it's that whole third eye experience that is so symbolic when I'm talking about unicorns, right? Because unicorns have a horn coming out of what is located like where the third eye is, right? So it symbolizes that awakened intuition. It represents your third eye chakra, you know. That's the portal that spirit flows through. That's how you get guidance. That's where it flows through, is that third eye chakra. And I walked out of the bathroom once I snapped out of that, and even my boyfriend TC, he was like, babe, like, are you all right? He's like, your eyes look different. Your eyes look different. Are you good? And I was like, just, you can tell, right? Like something's different. And he's like, yeah. And I tried to explain like this whole kind of sequence of events to him, and he just laughed at me, which I'm sure that some of you here in this moment are also laughing at me. But you know what? I don't care, because once you have validation from the universe, from divine energies, from unicorns, guess what? You don't care about what other people think about you. You know that this is true. What you're feeling, what you're believing, what you know, it is true. So laugh away, people. Laugh away. Okay, so now that you've heard some of those rainbow stories, I'm gonna go back to the overarching story about kind of my beliefs on unicorns and unicorn guides and just how I've landed here on this video. So the other day again, I was driving to work, and again, this is a few days after the experiences I just mentioned, especially that whole third eye one that we're just coming off of. And I was thinking about all of the synchronicities around unicorns and where I was at, things that I've just experienced, and kind of integrating all this information that I've had. And I'm just like, okay, I truly believe that I am getting this right message, that, you know, it is about unicorns. It is about me connecting with my spirit guide, the unicorns being part of my spirit animal, part of my spiritual path. Like at this point, I believe that. I knew that. That was right. That was good. It felt right. What I wasn't sure of is like, okay, do I share this message out? Do I make a YouTube video about this? Because, you know, not everyone is as open-minded. Not everyone can understand half of the stuff I'm explaining or trying to explain in this video through my experiences. So really, I got a bit hesitant about, do I want to share this message? Do I want to put myself out there that way and kind of risk that? Or, you know, there's just a little bit of fear there. And I left it up to the universe, and in Abby fashion, as I've been doing, I said, again, back to the game, universe. If I am supposed to make a YouTube video about all of these experiences, again, please show me a unicorn by the end of the day. So that was the morning. Fast forward all the way to the end of my day. Like literally, I'm sitting in bed at 11 p.m. at night, and I had not seen any unicorns that day, and I actually forgot that I made that intention. And I was about to close my iPad so that I could go to sleep, and I just happened to see this one video. And the video title was called, "Who Are My Spirit Guides and How Do I Use Their Guidance?" And I was like, okay, obviously I need to click into that video. And basically, in this video, I learned that my main guide, it could actually be an archangel named Uriel. And she goes on to explain some of the things that Archangel Uriel symbolizes, what he represents, and I'm going to show that in a moment. And when she said his name, Uriel, something inside of me just clicked like, oh, yes, I need to pay attention to this. So first, let me show you this video where she talks about Uriel being my spirit guide, my main spirit guide, and a little bit about kind of just an overarching spiritual theme about kind of where I'm at on my spiritual path, which is what the video opened up with. So check it out.
The Path of Soul. So you have the card from the Path of Soul and Destiny. This is a complete opening of the heart center. So that's great. Your will and the divine will are merging. This is the next step in the journey to ascension, operating fully from a place of love. Trust each and every step you are guided to take, even if you do not understand it in the moment. There may be times you feel overwhelmed with all you've been given. You are in full flow with intuitive guidance, creative ideas, tasks, and undertakings. You may experience a mix of emotional and physical occurrences, but know that this is a natural part of the process. Okay, so let's see what guides are actually with you. So from the Angel Oracle we have, you know what to do. They trust you. They know you know what to do. And Archangel Uriel is your main man, you know, he's your main angel, the one that's keeping an eye on you and letting you know what's going on. And he sees you, he sees what you're doing, and he's telling you, you know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay.
And even though I just learned, that my actual main dude, my main spirit guide is Archangel Uriel, that was surprising to me because here I was expecting to be like a unicorn just coming up in this reading, because I had been talking about unicorns, feeling like they're my spirit animal, that's my guide, that's how I'm getting these messages and feeling more connected. So I was 100% sure that a unicorn would have come up. So when that Uriel card came out, I was like, oh, well, who's this guy? Like, okay. Yet inherently, when that did come out, I was like, oh, like, that's my dude. Like I know that's him, even though I don't know anything else at this point in time. And I think just that also plays into what I've said earlier in the video too, just because it was Uriel and not a unicorn for, who is your main guide, spirit guides will come in whatever form is going to resonate with you. So I don't necessarily think that unicorns are separate from Uriel. Like I think there is strategy there and these things are connected, which you'll see. Okay, so the first thing I want to call out about that clip is the first thing that she talks about, like I said, is about where I'm at kind of on the spiritual path. I've been kind of elevated and there's this pathway now open in my heart space. And she uses the word ascension. Like here I am on my spiritual path and I'm on this ascension process. I've been connected to the divine. I'm tapped into this intuition, right? And I've been making videos over the last few weeks where I went from the void, not feeling anything, to feeling like supercharged and knowing this is happening. And it's always a roller coaster, but she nailed it on the head with talking about where I'm at with that opening card. And I think it's no coincidence that she uses the word ascension, because if you rewind and go back to my clip of when that unicorn showed up on the bumper sticker on the car, when I asked to show me that unicorn, if you notice the brand of the car or under that unicorn sticker, it says ascend. So there's no coincidence that the unicorn and ascend are kind of this message combined in a package on a car for me. That unicorn is tied to my spirituality and it is tied to my ascension process and it is tied to everything that I'm talking about in this video. There are no coincidences. Uriel is connected to unicorns. Unicorns are connected to Uriel. They're both one and the same. It's the messaging that I'm getting. And it clicked, that I had asked that morning to see a unicorn. And here I was at 11 p.m. plus in bed seeing this. And the intent that I made that morning was, do I make a YouTube video about all of this unicorn stuff? Are people going to be receptive to this? Is there a message in what I'm saying that someone needs to hear around this? If so, show me that unicorn. And again, at 11 o'clock p.m., last video of the day before I planned on packing that iPad up and going to bed was this piece of that video.
We have another message from Uriel, and he says, brilliant idea. So yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. So the additional meaning is your idea is answered prayer. It's an answered prayer. Even though it may push you past your comfort zone, know that God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Ask for and be willing to receive all of the support that you need to bring the idea to fruition. Know that I'll be there all along the way, and you can ask me for help at any time. I'm especially glad to give you ideas and creative insights to support your life's purpose.
Life purpose is a great segue into my last point here, because I had a realization around life purpose as it relates to, you guessed it, unicorns. My birthday is January 27th. I have mentioned that in a few of my videos here. And this year on my birthday, my dear fabulous coworkers, they went absolutely above and beyond to surprise me at work with unicorn-inspired everything, from balloons to decorations to gift bags to face masks to just all things unicorn, and basically a unicorn pizza party. And while it's obvious to see why I'm bringing that up, because it does relate to this unicorn video, my realization was a bit deeper, and it's something that I didn't actually realize in January when this party happened, but it's something that, again, just clicked recently. And the thing that clicked recently is, it is, again, no coincidence that on the day that I was born, these coworkers affirmed for me what I was born to do, my life purpose, if you will. So what I mean by that is they gave me this unicorn box, and inside of this box, they each wrote one or a few little blurbs or compliments or things about me that they were grateful for, things about me that inspired them, and just their heartfelt messages to me. And they had me read kind of some of these out loud, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but I want to pause and just show you some of the things that were inside this box that relate to kind of my life purpose, right? So one of the messages was, your level of energy keeps everyone going. Your level of energy keeps everyone going. We've talked about energy, my presence being my life purpose, right? You can see that it does affect people. It's very infectious. And when we're talking about infectious, this one says, first off, your laugh literally brings me so much joy. Your laugh literally brings me so much joy. And then we say, this one says, your ability to truly see everything around you. Your ability to see. And I love this because see is in parentheses. This person isn't talking about, again, with my physical eyes. It's being able to intuitively see people, like, to who they actually are. And another quick one is, you're one of a kind, Abby, a unicorn. Literally, you're one of a kind, Abby, unicorn. So I'll stop there, but I mean, I just thought that this was the most amazing gift that I've received in so long. Like, I can't even tell you how it touched my heart. So as I was actually reading these out loud, like on that day, going through them one by one, I actually had to stop because it made me cry. Like, I started to cry, and I had never done that before. I have never cried tears of joy, like just happiness. And in retrospect, I was crying those tears of joy because in that moment, I was feeling exactly what I was destined to do. I was being fulfilled because my life purpose, you know, when you're doing what you're meant to be doing, you know, we're all meant to be living this life of bliss and euphoria and love and happiness and joy. Basically, we should be crying every day tears of joy because that's how we should be living our lives. And that's what I think actually made me cry that day. So, you know, I think that birthday was super special to me, especially when we talk about being reborn through a spiritual awakening. So having my birthday be a day where I'm realizing, you know, in retrospect, that I learned and felt what my life purpose is supposed to feel like, again, I don't think that's coincidence. And that's what I'm here to do on the spiritual journey. It's continuing to make people feel that, you know, all the time. So even if you don't believe a lick of what I've said in this entire video, that's okay. What I actually hope is that you believe in the overarching messages that I've given. And it's all about love. It is all about feeling and intuition. It's about opening your heart and facing your fears so that you can flourish. It's about having faith even in the unknown or the unseen. It's believing in the magic of connection, whether it's with the universe, whether it's with the unicorns, or whether it's simply just with yourself. Now go show your sparkle to the world. Whoop, whoop. Speaking of believing in magic, I received a stand and a light. Like, check this out. Check it out. Hold on, I can't find the button. There it is. Wait, look. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. So basically, magically, I opened my mail the other day and found a stand. That is why I can do this with my hand, because I have an official stand for my camera or my phone, and a light because of my beautiful dear friend, Ms. Jabo, who hooked me up and surprised me with the package in the mail. So I feel like I am this cool official YouTuber, and I owe it all to you girls. So thank you so much. My second shout out here goes to my dear Julia, who honestly, the whole unicorn party that I talked about, she very much had a big hand in organizing that for my birthday this year. And also, she is absolutely responsible for my new and approved logo. She hooked me up in sending me over that design, so it's the one that you'll see on my videos moving forward. It's the one on my trailer. So Julia, thank you as well.